Hold me close. Girl, you look like you need to be held, okay? You need a hug. Anyway, guys, watch me transform from this hot dumpster fire to this cool about a 8.5, you know? If you want to see how I do my everyday makeup routine, keep on watching. So today I'm going to share with you guys my routine. I don't put a lot on my face. Super simple, girl. Alright, now the first thing you should have done, I forgot to say it, but I already did it. I have moisturizer and everything on my face. So I'm going to first go ahead and do my brows. And yes, I put edge control on my brows. So the first thing I'm going to do is take my little spoolie and dip it into the edge control. And I just dab it onto my brows. And then I just brush them in the direction that I want. Then I go over the top to like smooth out the line from any of the extra hairs. Then after I did that, I'm just gonna take my fingers and go over the my brows. This is just to like pat the edge control and set it in place. And literally I can go with my brows just like this, guys. Like, look at that. Snatched. Wish you could put edge control on your stomach. Shoot. For my everyday look, I do not necessarily fill them in with pencils or anything, because to me my brows are pretty dark. Right? Alright, so the next time I'm gonna go in with is this oldie but goodie. Listen, guys, my mom used to use this pressed powder on her face all the time, and I was like, but girl. Alright, so I go in with this pressed powder. It's the black opal, well, no, black radiance, sorry, in the color, what color is this? Black coffee. So I go in with this as my shadow, and I basically go in with it like around the perimeter of my face, like tapping it in like that. And this is like surprisingly full coverage. Like, it is so amazing. Like, look at it. Like, you see I have like some spots here. It is like literally making them disappear. Like, girl. So I go in around the perimeter of my face, like all the areas that you would generally contour. I go in with this. And of course I take it down my neck a little. And anywhere that I need like extra coverage, like around my mouth and stuff, I kind of pat it in instead of just brushing it across. So just keep going on the perimeter. Now I have the exact same brand of pressed powder, but this is in the color Bronze Glow, and I take this into the areas that I would usually highlight, like under my eye, using the same method of like pressing it in, and then I brush it to take it up, you know, for that snatched look. Now this lighter color, I guess it would be full coverage if it were my exact shade, but it's not as full coverage, but I don't really mind. It still does what it needs to do. Now I go over my lip again just to highlight, because remember the brown already concealed my little darkness, girl. Alright. Now I also take this a little bit on my chin and on my forehead, down the bridge of my nose as well. I like to also sometimes, like if I really want to have my jaw look pretty defined, I go right on the jawline, but very slightly. Like, you see that's already like showing up heavy. Make sure you blend that out, girl. And what I like to do as well is to go over my eyelid to give it a kind of look like I have some type of eyeshadow or something going on, something interesting on the eyelids. You see the difference? Do you see the difference that makes? Yeah, you can see the difference between this one and that one. Like, yeah. And I'm not even sweeping this, I'm just holding it and squeezing it so it has a type of arched shape. And then I fit it right over my eyelid and I just wiggle my hands back and forth. So good. The next thing we do is contouring. Like sometimes I will just leave it just like this if I'm just about to, nothing serious. But if I know I'm gonna take pictures but I'm lazy to do foundation and creams and all of that, then I will go in with this concealer palette. This is from, listen, this is a cheapo concealer palette, but it does the job for me. Okay, I mean contour palette. It's from Modern Fashion. I got it on Amazon and it's pretty beat up. So you see the colors that it has. It's supposed to be a highlighter and concealer palette, but for who, girl? For who? Who? Okay, so I go in with my contour brush and I go in on this shade here. As you can see, it's pretty dug out. And I just tap it because this is like super like intense. I literally just tap. No manners. Rude. I tap. Then I go like right in here, like at an angle, and push upwards. Like that. You see how sharp that is? Don't worry, we'll blend it out. So same thing on the other side. See that? And I like to run it under my jaw to snatch the jaw a little. And that's how Rihanna do this, girl. She contoured down the middle here. I guess it like gets rid of that little fat pocket. Oh, so you go all the way under your jaw. Now I go over these contours to blend them out so they're not as harsh. I go back here and I take it up a little, like the shape, you know, the number 3. And I do the same thing on the other side. Alright, so the next thing I do, I go ahead and recontour my nose. Alright, so I use this same brush and I barely tap it, just one tap. Of course I hit it off on my hand because don't need your nose looking crazy now. So I take it and I just tap it into my nose, going up into the natural like shadow that you see here on the side of my brow. So I go, just tap it and go up, and I do the same thing. Just tap it and go up. And then I go at the bottom. Okay. Now the next thing that I do, I go in with some blush. I love this e.l.f. blush palette. It has like some really nice colors. It's like they're not too heavy, but like you get the look if you want it to be like super cheek popping. These are more neutral. And I don't know if you can see, but this one right here actually has like some glitter in it. So it looks like you actually have highlighter on with the blush. So I just go in with my big fluffy brush and I gonna do the fish lips. I'm over exaggerating, I don't do that in real life. Now sometimes if I want it to be more intense, I mix this one with this, but not a lot because we don't want to be looking like Bobo. And what I find, when you press the brush into your skin, it deposits way more pigment. That's why I do the same thing with those pressed powders. It gives me a fuller coverage. Now after I've done that, depending on how I feel, I go in with the Fenty Beauty Cinnamon, the matchstick in cinnamon, and I just tap it on a brush and I go right here. Look at the glow. Look at that glow. So I put a little bit of highlighter on my top. Then I go in with my brown lip pencil and I overline my lips just ever so slightly. I'm gonna look in the mirror but I love my Cupid's bow, so I do start my Cupid's bow where it naturally is. And I go slightly above and then come down to meet it back in the corner. Can you see the difference? Then I do the same thing on the other side. Alright, so now we want to balance this out, or else you'll end up looking like somebody's auntie at the barbecue. Now, I do one of two things. I can go over it with lip gloss, or I go over it with like a matte, like nude colored lipstick. I don't know what I feel like doing today. I'm just gonna go with the gloss because it is an everyday look. Not every day you'll be out with matte lipstick. And do not hate on how the hairs on my lip gloss are sprawled out. Listen, she is loyal, okay? Now what I'd like to do with my eyes before I apply mascara is go in with my pencil and like tight line my lash. It gives it a more fuller look. And then last but not least, I go in with some mascara. Now I have a sample here. This is a Too Faced Better Than Sex sample. I got the sample because I didn't want to buy it and then didn't like it, because I have so many mascaras that they talk a big game but they don't do anything. Now, is this better than sex? I don't know who you're sleeping with, but no. Is it a good mascara? Yeah. So, last but not least, now the last thing that I like to do is to go in with the liquid eyeliner, because this look is like pretty good, but I kind of like a little bit more theatrics near my eyes. So I go ahead and I do like a cat eye. So I hold my pencil and line it up with my bottom lid. Well, not pencil, my liner. And I go just where my crease stops. Then I draw it across. And that is the finished look, guys, for my face, my little natural face beat. Yeah, that's it, guys. Now I'm gonna go get into doing my hair, girl, to show you how such a simple little beat can take you from 0 to 100 real quick.